You want to melt faces and burn down the acoustic music establishment 1/16th note triplet lick at a time? Okay, maybe I came on a little too strong there. Even if you just want to improve your speed picking and have a cool lick in your back pocket to turn some heads in your next solo, stick around for this lesson because I'm going to show you a really neat pattern that I lifted from some of my favorite metal guitarists and YouTube educators. Okay, before we do anything, let's go ahead and take a look at that lick one more time. First, I'm going to show you a front view like I just did when I was playing at the top of this video, and then second, we're going to see a side view where you can see the rotation angle of my wrist. Okay, my friend, so there might be a few interesting things to notice here, especially from that side view, right? The first thing that I want to point out is that largely I'm going to be using this, what I like to call doorknob turning motion, or pronation and supination of the right hand. To me, that is the key to some of this metal speed picking that you see, and I think that if you're more of a wrist player, you might have to modify your technique a little bit to get this one down, okay? And before we go any further, I just want to lay a few terms out there that we're going to need to understand some of the info in the rest of this video, okay? So first off, we're going to be talking about angles of the wrist and pronation versus supination. Supination, you can think about opening your wrists out like that. So in this instance, we're going to be opening our wrist this way. And then pronation is where we would take our pinky up, rotating the other way. With the guitar in our hands, that means supination, we're pointing our pinky toward the body of the guitar, and pronation, we're taking our pinky away from the body of the guitar, rotating along that axis. So in my opinion, the left hand is the easiest part of this lick. In case you didn't notice, we're actually using the 3-finger G major scale pattern that I taught on the channel a while back. But did you notice anything interesting that's going on with my right hand in that footage? Let's see it one more time. So as you can see, if I do supinated here, my pick is caught between the strings and I can't get to that A string on an upstroke. I have to lift out. Now I'm caught between the strings again, need to jump out. So that's why we keep our hand pronated. I'm using what Troy Grady likes to call downstroke escape motion, meaning that on my downstroke, my right wrist is pronated so that when I strike the string, it moves away from the guitar and my pick is free to hit a new string on an upstroke. I'm escaping on the downstroke, free to hit a new string on the upstroke. If my hand were pointed the other way, for example, supinated, I would be stuck between the strings and wouldn't be able to strike the new string with the appropriate upstroke. Alright folks, let's go ahead and dive into the demonstration of the left hand pattern for this lick. If you're unfamiliar with the 3-finger to a string major scale pattern, go ahead and check out the card right here in the top right of your screen. That's going to steer you to a lesson that'll teach you this major scale shape, but we'll review it here real quick. So we're simply starting on that G note on our low E string, the 3rd fret, and then 3 fingers to a string in the major scale. So the fret numbers are going to be 3, 5, 7, 3, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8. And on this lick, we're actually going to slide that last note up to a 10th fret. Alright, now to actually play the pattern out of this major scale shape, we're going to play the first 3 notes of the major scale, then skip up on an upstroke to the A string, and then from here on out we double all of the notes on each string. So we're going to play through the A string again, 3, 5, 7, starting on a downstroke, and then on upstroke, 4, 5, 7 of D, do a downstroke, skip up to the next string, double that string again on a downstroke, skip up, so the whole pattern, kind of slow and all put together, is And now, to descend or get back down the neck of the guitar for this pattern, we're actually going to start on the 8th fret of the high E string and just do the same thing. We're going to play 3 notes and then jump down to the next string and then play those notes again. So the whole thing one more time. To double that last note. Okay folks, now it's time to actually learn this lick. We're going to start with the fast version at 110 beats per minute just so you can get a feel, and then I'm going to progressively slow the tempo down to see if you can kind of absorb the lick in its entirety and then start to jump in with me as I ratchet that tempo downward. We're going to start at 110 beats per minute or 220 depending on how you like to subdivide, then go to 90 and then go to 60. So if this one's too fast, don't hesitate to kind of just absorb everything and wait for the next few iterations of this lick. Here we go. One, two, ready, play. Alright, now that you've seen this entire pattern over top of some different rhythm styles, let's talk about how to actually apply it to a solo. It will be rare that you actually find a spot inside of the context of a solo to play this entire pattern. It's 2 measures and it fits over a G chord or anything related to a G chord, right? If you're in the key of G, E minor, that kind of stuff. But I would highly suggest breaking this lick down into kind of 6-note or 12-note patterns, essentially using 1 measure or half a measure of this lick to spice up your solo. So just for giggles, let's check out a simple 1-5-1 bluegrass progression in the key of G, and I'm going to play through a major pentatonic scale and then throw some of this lick in there to show you how I might use it in the context of a solo. So instead of starting at the bottom and going all the way to the top of this lick, I'll just be doing 2 strings at a time. Say, for example, this. Or just kind of breaking the lick down into 2-string patterns and playing them as like a little flair or spice in the middle of a solo. So let's check out what an improvised solo in G might look like on a bluegrass style rhythm. Let me try it over some swing changes and see if that changes anything. But these licks, like I said, it doesn't need to be some like metal or rock style thing. You can just add them as some flair for swing, bluegrass, country, anything you want. Okay, now that you've seen this lick in the context of a solo, I want to make a huge disclaimer. If you bust this lick out any more than necessary inside of the context of a solo, you will absolutely be subject to eye rolls, sneers, and never being invited back to your local jam session. In my opinion, these licks are like ghost peppers. A little bit goes a long way, and any more than necessary will ruin the entire dish. In other words, limit yourself on how much you use this lick or phrase. There you have it, friends and neighbors, a gem of a pattern borrowed from our friends in the metal community. Sharing is caring, right? Before we get out of here, don't forget to hit that like button below and the subscribe button if you enjoyed this lesson. Also, check out the links below in the description to my guitar club, where you can find all sort of goodies like PDFs of today's exercises, as well as backing tracks, and access to monthly member Q&A calls, where you can ask me all of your guitar-related questions. And don't run away just yet. If you want to know the scale pattern that this lick was taken from, stay tuned for the next video, okay? We'll catch you down the line, my friend.